Back to the ramble. So the next thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to go use the insurance policy on my Droid Turbo 2 because it only likes to charge if it will charge with the turbocharger and not any regular chargers. I can't explain it. It's not the jack broken. It's not anything wrong with the chargers. I've tried different chargers. Basically, I can only use a turbocharger, and when I'm on a long road trip and I want to charge my phone and I want to use the car outlet to do it, I can't because it just doesn't want to do it. So that's a little gear update for me because some of my vlogs have come from my phone. So moving on, because I remember stating this feeling that I had that I was so done with the elections, and yeah, sometimes I get drugged back into something, even if I'm saying that I don't want to be a part of it. And I remember that feeling with a few other things that I've talked about on this YouTube channel where even though I've stated that I don't want to refer to someone or something, I end up doing it because they just pulled me back in. And, yeah, I didn't want to talk about the elections anymore as soon as Hillary won. And when she didn't, oh my goodness, I just got derailed for an entire week. I didn't do the weekly flags recap because I couldn't. I could not think. I could not look at my screen and try to figure out why someone was flagged for what. And so, once again, my own mental state of not being able to sort through things and do real work because of drama has postponed the weekly flags recap. So, tomorrow I'm going to have one up that's worth 2 weeks of flags, which is a little bit harder to do because of time constraints, because I usually end up linking to my blog because the number of flags in 2 weeks is too long to actually fit in the description box of any video. Yeah. First world problems, though, compared to everyone who's sad about Trump winning. But I don't really want to dwell on that subject. I know it would get me a lot of views. I know that. I mean, it has this week gotten me a lot of views. But I just don't feel creatively like droning on about why. I made a video about that. I'm done with it. Tonight, I'm going to go film the Supermoon, which is about the least controversial thing I can think of is going out to photograph and film the fucking supermoon. And if any of you think that there's something wrong with the supermoon, please speak now or forever hold your peace because I'm about to go do it. And I'm going to go thinking that there's nothing wrong with photographing the supermoon. Okay? Then tomorrow, I'm going to go run the other way from the political protesters, where I think everyone else is running towards that. And I'm going to, once again, look for the issue that isn't getting enough attention. And I've done this previously on my channel, just because I watch 10 or so people cover the same thing, and I feel like they've done a good enough job. What am I adding to this? And if I'm not, why am I here? So tomorrow, I know there have been a lot of follow-up protests after that first anti-Trump protest that I filmed. But a lot of them have fallen flat in my city, in Denver. 3,000 or 4,000 people joined the first anti-Trump rally, which was 2 days after his election. And then some politicians met on the state capitol steps, and they had a PA system, they had microphones, and they were in the daylight, and they could barely get 200 or 300 people to show up. And so that's like establishment candidates and Democrats feeling like they can co-opt this sadness, this frustration, this energy to go out and protest. And when they do, they show up on the Capitol Hill steps, and they can't get a good picture filling the steps with people like the original protest did, because the original protest was really anti-establishment, right? And it's a lot of hashtag should have been Bernie, hashtag not my president, hashtag Black Lives Matter people that were in those protests. And when they try to legitimize them, try to formalize them into, bringing them into supporting the Democratic Party, it's just not there. And it was so embarrassing that I was like, wow, I'm glad I didn't show up to film it. I've been asked to film a couple things lately that some people who normally are behind the scenes, some of whom are the wealthy donors of all of these movements, have asked me, hey, what do you think about this? Are you going to show up to that? And I'm like, no, I'm done filming protests that have been fed by fake bullshit. What I want to do tomorrow, after I film the Supermoon today, when I go a different direction, is I know that there are anti-Trump protests happening tomorrow, right? They've been happening every night, even without organization, even without a Facebook post for people to go find. People call each other up and say, hey, I'm on 16th and we're going down the 16th Street Mall, and we're going to head down to Spear next. Hey, join us. And people are calling each other, and it's like so organic. It can't be organized. It's friends calling each other down to these things. And it's really surrounding the universities downtown. But what I want to see is there has been a constant theme among that core of 50 or so protesters in my city that'll protest anything and try to co-opt anything, like Black Lives Matter, Occupy, whatnot. There's been a constant theme of stop doing the homeless sweeps in Denver. And in all of the ruckus about Trump's having been elected, the Denver Police Department announced that tomorrow, on Tuesday, they are once again going to sweep for homeless people on city land. So they're going to take their tents, they're going to take all of their gear and impound it because they have been camping on city land. And ironically, I feel like part of this might be due to the upper middle class protesters that have been marching lately that have no experience in the downtown area, that they have actually been making messages to each other saying, oh, it's a safe group, come on down. When you hear them emphasize the word safe, I'm like, what did you think was dangerous downtown? So I think, ironically, those protests have had people who couldn't find their way to the protest because they're marching all over the place. They're weaving in and out of these city streets, and you can't tell where the protest is one minute to the next. They're marching everywhere, right? So when people are getting lost on the way, they're seeing all the homeless encampments, and they're probably calling the police saying, hey, why are you letting all these homeless people just squat this business at night? Why are why are you letting these homeless people live underneath this bridge next to Coors Field? Why are and the fact that it's visible right now to those upper middle class liberal people who are pissed off that Bernie didn't get elected, and that they want to be able to march without having to see the problem. I feel like phone calls have been made as a reaction to what they've seen when the people not familiar with those parts of town have showed up. And so the police announced, and it's getting like no press, but little, like a paragraph here and there, that they're going to do another homeless sweep. And it's going to be on Tuesday. And my guess is that they're going to be avoiding the Occupy / Black Lives Matter / should have been Bernie / not my president protesters. They're going to try to sweep around them. So wherever they've been marching, that's not where the sweeps are going to be. And what I want to actually film is the actual sweeps. Because it's strange to me that these protesters who were all about what Bernie Sanders stood for, they're not going to be around the actual problem of the militarized police punishing the homeless for being poor and having nowhere to go, and punishing them for the fact that the city doesn't offer enough services to take care of the homeless population, and sweeping them away as a not in my backyard problem and trying to push them off onto all of the suburbs. I wonder if the marches will be able to redirect themselves to see the stormtrooper like police that were the same ones that tore down the Occupy tents out there once again, just being used to dismantle the homeless encampments downtown. I wonder if they'll even notice, or if they're going to be too busy taking selfies in the neon light of the 16th Street Mall. Are they going to keep on interweaving up and down the 16th Street Mall because, if they feel like stopping for a beer or a corn dog or something, they can, and then they can rejoin their friends, 15 minutes later and just get right back into it because it's so convenient that way, right? I think I'd rather film the actual problem than the people who are Johnny-come-lately. And that's where I'm going to leave this right now. So expect some Supermoon footage and then some weekly flags recap. And then, if I can find them with my police scanner, I'll try to catch a couple of homeless people's tents being destroyed. And then we can have a conversation about that issue that's being ignored right now. If I were in the Dakotas, I'd be, flying a drone over the Dakota Access Pipeline asking why are they about to drill in the water when the Army Corps of Engineers and the Obama administration told them to halt, and they're just completely fucking ignoring it and no one's doing anything about it. But since I'm in Denver and I do Denver things, I'm going to go film a homeless tent being destroyed. Laters.